Good afternoon. Welcome to 2022. I wanted to hop on, not only to wish you a happy 2022, but also to maybe share with you some thoughts about change and the change that maybe you're thinking about making this year. Lots of people start a new year, and today is, New Year's Day, thinking that they're going to make great and wonderful changes. And if you're part of that group and you've struggled in the past to make and sustain a change, I thought I wanted, well, I didn't think. I am going to share with you some suggestions for how to make that change possible and how to sustain it. Because I know that if you're looking to set a goal for yourself that is rather ambitious, sometimes it can be tough to achieve. So let's go through them, shall we? Okay, suggestion number one is to take a look back from either your previous attempts or in the previous year and think about what it is that you have tried to do and maybe haven't achieved to the level or the capacity that you're seeking to do now. So essentially the note I wrote to myself is look back and learn. Every time we go to make a change, even if we don't sustain that change for a long period of time, the mere fact that we are trying means that we're getting closer and closer to our goal of sustaining that change for a longer period of time. Okay, that's tip number one. Tip number two, you'll have setbacks. We all have setbacks. Very few people get from point A to point B without some sort of sidetracking or whole different paths or maybe a pause in the system. But ultimately, we all have the capacity to get where we want to go. If we plan for those setbacks, if we let our setbacks get us completely discouraged and it stops our progress, then we're probably not going to get to our goal. Okay, so plan for, be ready for either some setbacks or some less than desirable days. Those are normal. It's okay. It's going to happen. Just keep on going. In the mindset of just keep on going, I also really want to remind you of something that sometimes my guys refer to as the what the F's, or is, believe it or not, in science research is called the what the hell effect. Once we've started on a downward path, or you eat one cookie and then you end up eating the whole bag, or you spend $5 and then you find yourself spending $100, you don't need to do that. Just because you've taken a little bit of a sidestep doesn't mean you need to keep on going. Okay. All right, so that's sort of tip number two still. Number three, I want to remind you that change is really hard. It is not easy. It is not 1, 2, 3. People who say, oh, I decided and then I just did it. That isn't the case. That never really happens. Honest. I've been doing this a long time with people. What I can tell you is that they've tried in the past, they've learned from their mistakes, and they're trying again. So please keep in mind the change is really, really hard. I'm also going to remind you that you can achieve your goal. Okay, maybe you are not going to become a prima ballerina for the city ballet if you've never taken a dance class and you're 85 years old and you can barely move, but that doesn't mean that you can't take a dance class and you can't enjoy things. It doesn't mean that your goals are unachievable. If you set a goal that is within reason, then yeah, I really believe you can achieve it. How do I know this? I know this because you're looking to make that change. And when we go to make a change, when we start to think about how to do it, oftentimes we are already on our way to making the changes we're seeking. If we're looking to make change, a very sad and somewhat harsh reality is that sometimes we need to part company with the people that may not be as supportive of us as we'd like for them to be. A colleague of mine often says, show me 5 of the people that you spend the most amount of time with, and I will show you your future. He's not that far off. The reality of it is we tend to surround ourselves with people and with people who have expectations that are pretty similar to ours. So if we are looking to, strive a little further, go a little higher, do a little bit more, We need to surround ourselves with people who are actively doing the same thing and encouraging us to meet their expectations and where they're at. This is part of the reason why, by the way, CrossFit works, called boxes. CrossFit doesn't have you competing as a, well, they do have competitions, but they have you using each other as role models. If she can do it, I can do it. And if she can put in 100%, I can put in 100%. So really, we need to surround ourselves by people and with people who are going in the same direction that we want to go. Okay, tip number 4, or maybe it's 5, I've lost track. Take small bites. Break your huge, massive goal down into really small, manageable pieces. Even if the pieces aren't all that manageable, if they are small, they are more likely to be achieved. Kind of like that saying, the journey of a million miles begins with a single step, one teeny tiny bit. Break it down before you start so that you don't get overwhelmed later. Even if that means taking think about it like you might think about a book. If you wanted to write a book with 10 chapters, maybe just outlining each of the chapter titles and then later on filling in the extra pieces. If you're looking to do any change, break it down so that you get where you want to go and you know how you're going to do it. So essentially have a plan. Have a plan with manageable pieces to it, okay? Think about it if this helps, like maybe, well, back in the day, using a map to plot out your trip and needing to really think about where am I going to stop and is that exit easy to get on and off of, or if I'm taking the train, how do I get to the train? Think about things in small bits. You're much more likely to get where you want to go. Okay, I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about what are called cues, or triggers is what I've always called them. Just learn the term cues. But essentially what that means is pairing what we're looking to do with a behavior or an activity that we've done in the past. So one of the easiest things that I talk to people about pretty frequently is if you're getting a new medication and you're afraid you're not going to take it consistently, put it next to literally something that you do every day. Maybe it's putting it next to your toothbrush or putting it next to your coffee or your tea, or prepping that the evening before and putting everything out so that you remember what it is you need to be doing. The fewer steps we have to take in terms of consciousness, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to make my tea in the morning, so I'm going to do these things, the more likely it is that we're going to do them. The more that we have to sort of sit down and think about what's next, think about this new thing, the harder it is for us to do it. So again, pairing up some of the new behaviors with some of our old and healthy behaviors is a great way to start, okay? All right. One more thing. I want to remind you that the memories that you start building today are the ones that you are going to look back on a year from now. And that's going to help you think about, was this a year that I'm really proud of, or a year where maybe I could have done a little bit more? I hope you get to the end of the year and you feel like you've done a great job. Nobody likes to get to New Year's Eve and feel like they've had a crappy year. I know you can achieve the changes that you want to achieve. I know that if you want the help, that you're going to get it. My name is Lisa Curtis. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and a credentialed alcohol and substance abuse counselor. Say that 10 times fast. If you're seeking to make a change and you'd like some support, I would be honored to hear from you. If you found some of this video helpful, I would be honored to hear from you about that too. Or if you have any questions, drop me a line. I can be reached at lisacurtis445@gmail.com. So LISACURTIS445@gmail.com. In the meantime, I wish you the best for your start of 2022. Bye.